welcome to my timeline. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Jess, if we are just meeting for the first time. This is a space, our little corner of the internet, where I come on here once a day, and my intention is to be here for 365 days to tell stories and talk about life, love, happiness, sorrow, fears, really everything under the sun. And if you're clicking on this video, I really believe that there's a reason why you're here. So if you're not already, please consider subscribing. It really does mean the world to me as I take this time to grow my channel, yes, but also grow myself. And one of the ways I'm doing that is through interactions with each and every one of you. I'm so grateful that we get to have conversations in the comments and through email. And I know that I have been in your thoughts just as you have been in mine. And it's pretty amazing to me that we are so far away from one another, but we get to come together and create these connections and have these ripples in each other's lives. There's someone in this community who has been sick for the last few weeks. And I have just heard that they are home from the hospital, resting and recovering. And it would mean the world to me if anyone watching this would just take a quick moment with me and just send out some healing energy, maybe send out a prayer if that's something that you enjoy doing. I would just love for us to send a little bit of this love and healing energy to this person who I'm sure could use it. Thank you. I'd love to continue my story from yesterday just a little bit. And so if you haven't had a chance to watch the 11:09:24 video, I essentially expressed a little bit of my frustrations at my job, where I was feeling a little bit upset by authority, essentially. And I had this really interesting experience today because, gosh, now I'm trying to remember if I even spoke about this specific story in depth yesterday. So let's just back up a moment. Let's just let's back this straight up, and we'll start from square one. That way we're on the same page. So what I want to tap into is a moment yesterday where I was speaking to a customer, and oh yes, I did talk about this. Okay. So I was talking to a customer yesterday, and if you've been to a restaurant, if you've been in the service industry, like a huge part of your job is communicating with customers. And in my opinion, it's so important to create these relationships and to spend time talking to people and asking them what brought them there today. What brought them here today? And it can be truly impactful, these conversations. And so yesterday I got in a little bit of trouble because I was having a conversation with someone and my boss felt like it was too long. Fair. But of course I had to laugh because literally the moment I got into work today, she got pulled into a conversation and was talking to someone for like multiple minutes. And then later on in the day was sitting down having coffee with somebody. And it's just so funny how, you know, don't get me wrong, I understand like uno momento. Okay, I did a really bad job. I just like wanted to get this up, so I taped it. I would really like to get it framed. But I just like was called to put it up today. This beautiful art that I was gifted by another. So I was gifted this by this lovely man that comes in, and he goes to Las Vegas, like I don't know how often, but he's been a handful of times, and he's gotten every person on staff this handmade art. It's absolutely stunning. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful gift. And like, you know, relationships, so important. And so yeah, I understand. You're the owner of a business. Like you get to do what you want. You can say do as I say, not as I do. I understand that. But it just made me laugh today. Because it was like you were just getting mad at me for having a conversation with someone, and like here you are doing the same thing. And what really sucked was later on in the day, there was this couple that came in, and they are pretty regular. I probably see them most weeks. I would say they probably come 3 times a month. And this couple, they've left me like gifts, and we've had beautiful conversations, and they said to me today, and I was like, I just, because of the experience yesterday, like they really wanted to talk. Like they love getting to communicate, and it was a little bit busy today, and yesterday it was not very busy. So like I felt it was completely appropriate to have this conversation. But today was one of those moments where it was busy and I could feel myself pulling away because it felt as though it wasn't quite the time. I didn't have the same ability to just pause and communicate. There was a lot more going on. And I was so uncomfortable because I also was like, oh, I can't stay and talk to this lovely couple because I am so busy. And so there was kind of like that push-pull, and it's interesting to see that experience in comparison to yesterday. But what really sucked, was that, she said to me, she was like, I've lost so many friends. She had a varying viewpoint that kind of diverged her from her friend group during the pandemic. And she said to me, it's really nice, like getting to come in and talk to you. And like my heart was so torn in that moment, because I was like, oh, friend, I felt like I wasn't able to communicate with you, and I felt like my mind was my mind was worried about, am I going to get in trouble for communicating? And also I was trying to pull away. Because I had other work I had to do. But it was a beautiful reminder of how some people, we need that connection. And she's coming out, yes, for a meal, but she's also coming out for community and conversation, because she's found a place to go where people accept her and her viewpoints, and we've been able to connect on a really, really nice level. And so it's just fascinating, right? And you know what, there was another woman at the end of the day, and she was in very good spirits. She was very kind. We didn't get into deep conversation, but like it was very pleasant, and we were just engaged in, you know, talking about food and the restaurant. We had just done some renovations, and it was the first time seeing it. But then, you know, she was looking at the baked goods, and I was like running her through what we had, and then she just said, you know, my husband's in the hospital right now, and I think I'm gonna, you know, bring him some baked goods. And then she finished her meal, and she's like, you know, that just hit the spot. It was just exactly what I needed. And in that moment, I was thinking, it's not about the food. It's not about the quality of the food in that moment. It's about, was she able to come in and take what I assume would be a bit of a break from her reality. She has a loved one that's in the hospital, and I didn't want to dive into it, but she was probably taking that time for her, nourishing herself, and taking the time for someone, like, it's like someone caring for her. Someone was making a meal for her, making sure that she had everything she needed. Like, I was like, you know, I wanted to make sure that she had everything that she needed, and she felt taken care of, she felt nourished, and then I was like, what else can I send her home with? Or like, what else can I send her with? And I was like, and she was having a coffee, and I said, can I get you a coffee to go? And she's like, oh, that would be amazing. And those are those beautiful moments where it's like you have this opportunity to, you know, take care of people, and you can't claim to assume what's going on in their lives, but like, it's not just serving people food and drink. It's not, it's so much more than that. And that's why I have the opinion that I do, which is, when you have the time to have conversations and to, you know, I want to say, like, touch people's hearts, it's like, do it every single time you can. And what I love about the restaurant industry is that we have that opportunity to do that for people when we're not slammed off our feet. Shoot. I'm just gonna leave it. And yeah, I just want to wish everyone out there, like, so much love and happiness and joy. And I hope that if you're having a bad day or a hard day, you know, I hope that if you're listening to this, I hope that this brings you just like that little sliver of joy, you know, a little smile to your face to know that somebody's thinking about you right now, and like, somebody cares that you're having a good day. Somebody cares that you are taken care of in whatever way that means to you. Oh, I'm getting so emotional. I'm just thinking about everyone, you know, just thinking about everyone in the world. One of my favorite practices is, you know, when I it's typically brought on when there is somebody in, you know, dire straits, or I see someone where my original reaction would be something along the lines of a pity. I really don't like to pity people. I really don't like that. And so instead of that, what I've been practicing is sending them loving kindness. And so I'll just take a moment and say or think, you know, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from suffering. And I do my best to expand that to all beings, because what else could we want in this life, on this planet, but for all beings to be happy, healthy, and free from suffering? What else is there? Love. It's all just love. Oh. Seriously, I'm sending you all so much love. Before I start crying on camera again. I bid you all farewell. Have a beautiful day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.